Hey everybody, it's currently September 14th, 2022, 2:21 p.m. This is build 6 of Arches, and you're probably wondering, hey, the public build hasn't come out yet, you're probably wondering that if you're part of, like, the people that like this game. Probably wondering why that's a thing. But, I'm not gonna release this video until they release it publicly because I'm not that kind of person. I'm not a scumbag like some people are. But I'm already really nervous because we're about to plop into a really stressful situation here, as you can see. The last time we did this, it was April 24th, and yeah. Really not looking forward to this. I'm really not, but hey, that just means I'm gonna be more in character. Torque. Right, right. He's getting out of the van. I don't like this. Oh no. Great, I forgot that I gave Karen my own voice. I changed it from TJ's to my voice cause it fit him better. Great. Not even kidding. I feel fucking nervousness in my chest right now. Cameron stays curled up on the floor for what feels like a very long time. He'd ultimately decided that he'd rather watch the harmless, pulsating arches dance behind his eyelids rather than nightmare the trailer is becoming. Every minute or so, the reality of the situation hits the coyote in a burst of whimpering gasps escape his muzzle for a few minutes before fading back to only whimpering. He would stay down there until this trip was over, but Brennan and pulling him back to where he was sitting. At this point, the coyote doesn't fight the bear, going limp while his body is pulled along. For a minute, Brian tries to get him to sit in his chair, but eventually just gives up, dropping Cameron next to the table where he just lies on the floor. The coyote listens to the old bear moving around the trailer, though it's barely audible over his own gasping sobs. Then surely those lumbering, shuffling footsteps come closer, and Cameron knows that the old bear is crouching down next to him, though the coyote still doesn't open his eyes. Okay, now I have to get into this mindset. Fuck. Okay. Listen, kid, since you ain't gonna calm down, you're gonna take some Zans. Got it. Cameron listens but doesn't move or interrupt to do anything. Then he flinches as a rough, calloused paw grabs his chin, forcing his mouth open slightly. Oh, fuck. Fuck. I mean, I'm still amazed at the quality of the art here, but I really don't like it. Finally, Cameron opens his eyes a bit and almost gasps at the vivid red lighting, which keeps him distracted until something falls into his mouth. Pale and Cameron recognizes its distinct bar-shaped and bitter taste. Brian holds out a cup, a plastic one that Cameron looks at with undisguised fear. It's just water. Bear gestures at the counter where a gallon jug sits. Cameron still doesn't move. Brian sighs. Then he gets up, grabs a cup straight out of the sink and pours it half full before drinking it. Cameron's mouth is as dry as the dirt surrounding them, likely due to a combination of drugs and fear, and he really doesn't want to swallow the pills to get rid of the taste. Wait, what? I read that entirely wrong. He really does want to swallow it. So he takes the cup and drinks, swallowing the Xanax, and despite his fear, he drinks until the cup is empty. He vaguely remembers his high school friends telling him to drink water to make his trip less intense. Cameron has the feeling it probably won't change anything. Brian takes the cup from the coyote's own paw, and it takes Cameron a second to realize that the bear is holding out another pill that looks like a small red square. What is it now? Fucking hell, stop giving the past drug addict fucking drugs, you dipshit. Brian, I wanna fucking kill you. Now put this one under your tongue. Cameron stares, trying to figure out if it's just the trip making it look that color or Brian's sides began becoming more impatient. Broke off a third of the bar I gave you. Now Cameron is sure the pill's actually red. He draws back. Counterfeit pill. That probably means it's cut with something. Something like opioids. I don't. Shit. Fucking. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Brian slaps him, the strike coming so fast that Cody isn't even sure what happened. Sudden numbing sting on the left side of his face, along with the bright flash of light, is very, very familiar, though, and Cameron feels as though he's traveled 7 years back in time. His delayed reaction is a surprised gasp as he raises his arms over his face. He yanks his arms back down and thrusts the pill at his muzzle. This time, like Cody opens his mouth willingly, maneuvering the pill to sit under his tongue. His movements feel almost robotic at this point. To Cameron's immense relief, this seems to satisfy the bear, and Brian gets up from his crouching position, backing away. He sits there a moment, drags himself under the table, huddling in a corner as tears well up in his eyes again. Going through all that, knowing that there's plenty more to go through, Cameron longs for Devon more than he ever has before. Waits until the plot is solved before asking the question that he dreads hearing the answer to. Is this Devon? The bear? Is he still alive? This giant, violent bear had encountered Devon and Artie. There's no telling what it might have done to them. His heart drops. The bear seems to hesitate. Please tell me the truth. Cameron needs to know. Bear's fine. He's locked up, but fine. His tone sounds genuine. Even though Cameron will never trust him, he has to hold on to some hope. If I do this for you, let him go too. That's the plan. He your boyfriend? Cameron doesn't try to respond to that, so he doesn't. Bear shrugs. Doesn't matter much to me. Just do what I tell you and you'll both be out of here by tomorrow. It's quiet for a moment. Brian moves out of the trail, opening the fridge and doing whatever it is he does. God, dude, you do not want to know what has happened in this trailer. You do not want to know. Trust me, buddy. Cameron doesn't bother keeping track. Let me know when you start saying shit. Got something to do real quick. Cameron roars out the other question weighing heavily on his mind. And Arturo, the cat, is he... Brian doesn't look back and just sighs again. Cameron doesn't ask any follow-up questions, feeling like he got his answer. Thought that Artie might be gone is too messed up for his drugged-up mind, especially because he feels certain that he can't be gone. Cameron can't explain why, but he just feels it. He feels Devon, he feels Artie. Brian stands next to the door holding a plastic water bottle. Gonna go after about 5 minutes. I'll be right next to the trail, so if I see you try anything, I'll shoot your boyfriend in front of you, then I'll kill you. Eventually. Cameron doesn't move. Soon the trip intensifies and he hugs himself, the movement making his ribs ache from the ear kicks. He just watches the food colors and shapes of his hallucinations. Meanwhile, the acrid taste of Xanax lingers on his tongue. Fuck! He hadn't felt any pain. He doesn't feel any pain right now either. Not physically, at least. It's something deeper. It's about who he used to be, who he is now, and who he's about to become. Something profoundly terrible has happened. It's changed everything. Holy shit, is this Arturo? Is this Artie? Are we about to get a insight into what happens to the... Oh god, no. I hate it. Knows that much at least. What he really wishes to know right now is who the hell he even is. Tries to think back to what he last remembers. Standing in front of everyone in second grade, his trembling paws loading his book report. Clears his throat, trying to figure out how to put sentences together in advance. Speak up, Arturo, the class needs to hear you. Arturo. That's his name, Arturo Herrera. He opens his eyes. What the fuck? What the fuck? Like, beautiful artwork, but what the fuck is this? Arch. Arch. It really is true. When you start looking for them, you see them everywhere. How did he end up here? Where are his classmates? Second grade, or was it third? No, he's positive he's at least in high school. Tries again to remember what happened last. He was sitting in the junior parking lot with his girlfriend. She was upset because other girl at school was being mean to her. She's a Jaguar, sitting in the passenger seat of his beaten up sedan, one of her feet up on the dash, and he's leaning towards her to kiss her on the cheek. What's her name? Sarah Mendoza. Or was it Montoya? Oh my god. My name is Inigo Montoya. I'm sorry, I'm stopped. Serious moments. But now he remembers that they didn't last long at all. Maybe only a semester because he sucks at comforting people. He does always say the wrong thing at the wrong time, but he still had several girlfriends after her up until... What voice did I give you? Mariah? His voice is so alien, so strange, it startles him a bit. It's even more strange how hard it is to even say her name. He stutters and he has to chew around the syllables like he's biting at the letters. As he does, he notices a sour taste in his mouth that he can smell vomit. Looking at the forest floor in front of his face, and he sees a dried mess of what he's sure is the source of the smell. Bits of something orange and mushy and chunks of what he recognizes as jerky. Things are trying together, but it comes a long time, maybe even an hour as he goes in and out of consciousness. Murillo, Pueblo, Devon, psychology, graduation, behavioral tech, road trip, accident, echo, Cameron, THC cartridge, visions, ghost, panic, bear, gunshot. Gunshot. He's been shot. It's only now that he realizes his current position. Curled up on his side, arms folded up in front of his chest. Wait, he's not dead? Tries to move his arms, but like everything else he's trying to do, it's very difficult. His muscles feel unnervingly weak, and every time he moves, he comes with an uncontrollable twitching and trembling. Churro stands stares at his paws, watching the tremors, starting to quell the panic. Finally, he slowly manages to sit up. Immediately, dizziness overtakes him, and he has to pause for several seconds before he's sure he's not going to fall back down. Once he's sitting up, his stomach turns and he dry heaves, and that's when he feels the pain. It's not terrible, but the deep, cold throb at the back of his head feels very wrong. So he is dead then? Shaking paw, he reaches back and finally feels the damage. Fur is crusted and matted, becoming a bit damp as he goes closer to the source. His fingers brush over a slight gap like there's a small crater in the fur. As he presses down, he realizes the crater goes far past the fur and past the skin, and then he feels something oddly hard and almost sharp. Arturo gasps, realizing the stiff, jagged thing he's running a finger over is his broken skull. jerks his paw away, breathing hard. He was shot in the head. In the head? He remembers deciding to run since the shotgun wasn't loaded, but then the bear had taken another gun, a handgun, and then. How is he alive? How long will he stay alive? Is there a bullet in his brain right now? No, he needs something, so he tries to ask for it. I need a shelf, mail. Struggles not to stutter, to say the right word that he knows he's trying to use. He knows this is very, very bad. Devin was hurt too, maybe even killed. Cameron, he was already hurt, and it was a monster in this forest that hurt him. Cap brings his knees up to his chest, putting his arms around them like he's a child. He feels like a child, helpless and completely confused. He sits injured in this terrible forest. This must be some kind of awful dream, and he wants to wake up, but even though everything feels unfamiliar, surreal, dreamlike, he knows this is real. Arturo feels his face crumple as he starts to cry, pushing his forehead against his knees. I need something. No, wrong word. I need someone. There's some relief as Arturo feels he's improving at least a little bit. Maybe it's only temporary. He's been told several times in his psych and neuroscience courses that the brain is plastic. The fact that he's recalling these memories, making sense of these memories gives him hope, but there are still certain things, very simple things that are missing. Ruin my life. Arturo jerks his head up to look up, heaving again as another wave of dizziness and nausea sweeps through him. Kite? Come on. Camera. Oh, shit. Shit. We're going back in time for this one. Like, not far, but we're going at least a few minutes. Looks in the direction of the sound and sees a trailer partially hidden behind tree trunks and bushes about 30 feet away. His right ear pops loudly several times and he rubs at it, feeling fluid come out. He knows it's blood. Cat slowly begins to stand up and immediately gets a terrible shock as he realizes the weakness he'd felt in his arms is also in his legs. He struggles and stumbles his way to the tree, trying not to panic again before finally leaning up against it. Oh my god. Oh my god, I hate this. Okay. Go, I can't breathe. Toriel is not the only one in this nightmare. Did the monster come back for Cam? I'm sorry. Tara starts moving toward the trail before it dawns on his shattered, bewildered mind and he's looking at the bear's trailer. The one that shot him, and he must have Cameron in there. Hey, I'm not screaming that. Devin, help me, Devin. I'm not screaming. That would not be good. God, the fact that there is so much art amazes me. Arturo flinches back at the sound, his fur bristles out along his spine, eyes wide as Cameron's screaming echoes through the forest. Cat looks around helplessly, hoping that Devin has come to help. How are you alive? How? Even though that evil bear is bigger, Devin's a pretty big bear too, and he would stand a much better chance than he himself would. Thuds, followed by yelps and howls, come next, and finally it's too much for Arturo. Dave, come on. Can't go in there like this. He knows Happy can get help. Maybe. Depending on how bad it is, these problems he's having could get a lot worse over the course of just a few hours. He has no choice. Well, he knows he has a car, he also knows that he can't use it, even though he can't remember why. He remembers that there's a highway, the one that they should have gone to the second he got here. He used to get them all help. So with a more terrified look at that trail, he starts to make his way out of the forest. At first, Arturo is filled with a sense of hopelessness as he finds out just how hard it is to walk with his right side being almost limp. It feels like half of his muscles have just wasted away. After some trial and error, he finds that if he widens his stance a bit and swings his arms in a way that looks a bit lopsided, he's able to keep his balance. His pace is reasonable as well, so swallowing down his panic again, he makes his way back onto the dirt road. Oh shit. Oh shit, 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 shit. Fuck. Even through the disbelief of the situation, even though he's terrified for Cameron and Devon, he feels something deep that's even worse. Tries to ignore it, but it gnaws at the back of his brain. He's dying. He can feel it. Shit. Fuck. Devon struggles with his handcuffs, trying to get the chain into the position that he wants. He pulls his paws up until the chain is taut, then moves slowly in a circle around the bolt until the chain twists on itself. That was the easy part, and based on the tension he felt being put in the chain links, he had been feeling pretty confident. But then he'd spent what feels like the last hour trying to actually put enough force and weight into the motion so the chain would break. While the twisted chain is taking most of the pressure of his own wrist, it still hurts. Devon can see through his fur he's already starting to bleed from his wrists, and the fur is coming off in small tufts with each failed twist and jerk. Come on, damn it, please! Their failed heave, Devon slumps with his paws pressed to the floor of the bank, gasping and sweating. Dizziness comes over and he ends up pressing his face into the floor. Please! Please help me! Devon hardly prays, just in case there's something above all of this. Footsteps. Devon scrambles to twist back around and step over the anchoring bolts. His paws are behind him again, sitting up to face the back door of the van. It opens and Devon finds himself staring at the bear that did this to him. Even though he doesn't want Cameron anywhere near this man, seeing that the coyote isn't there with Brian since panicked the younger bear. What do you want? Where's Cameron, please? Shut it. Devon watches with dread as he sees the huge bear holding that water bottle. Please, just tell me what you want. I'll give it to you. Just let me see him. Teeth snap together, and the next thing the bear knows is that his head is resting against the metal cage partition. It separates the back of the van from the seats. Dazed, his chin is on his chest, his arms under his back, force him to arch his chest and stomach towards the van's roof. Brian is on him, pressing the bottle to his lips. Dazed from the punch, Devon can only mumble in protest. No, no! Devon sees a look in the bear's eyes and knows that eventually he's going to have to drink from the bottle again. Feeling completely defeated, Devon can only plead with the man. Wait, just wait. Tell me what you want. Is he okay? Boy, you're really starting to piss me off. You don't do what the fuck I tell you. Brian grabs Devon's chest for him, both paws, and hauls him up so he's sitting in a more upright position. I'ma take it off, you little cocksock, yo, you understand me? Now shut up! Devon can't shut up. He's half convinced that Cameron's already dead. Please, just let me see him so I know he's okay. Alright, I was gonna say you already earned him one good hit, now it's two. Want to add a third? Devon just stares. Of course, he knows that Brian doesn't need an excuse, that if he really wants to hurt Cameron, he can. Because there's nothing Devon can do. He can only do what the other bear tells him to do, so opens his mouth. Slowly, Brian pours a slightly bitter water into his mouth and Devon drinks. His body wants to keep drinking. Devon starts to pull back after only a few swallows, as if he's had enough and doesn't even suspect the water is drugged. Brian pushes the bottle hard. And Devin's lips are painfully mashed between the plastic of his own teeth, and he's forced to keep drinking. Even when he lets out a tiny bit of dribble from the corner of his mouth, Brian growls more threats at him. The water is gone, and Devin hangs his head in defeat as Brian pulls back, backing out of the van. Devin squeezes his eyes shut, wishing this fucking bear would just tell him what's happening, what he's doing to Karen, why he's keeping him alive. He's too afraid to. Your bear is too afraid to talk, too afraid what Brian might do. Without a word, the van door is slammed shut. Cameron stays under the table, the Xanax having kicked in fully by this point, leaving that coyote in a bit of a quiet, stoic haze. His sobbing has trailed off. Not much emotion left in him aside from feeling numb. His trip is getting more and more intense, and he knows that its peak is nearing, maybe another half an hour. Still, he begins to notice things that he sure aren't part of his trip. Presence not too far away, one that he knows very well. Dev. With no idea what he's doing, he instinctively reaches out toward that warm energy, but he's interrupted by another presence he doesn't recognize, one that's much closer. Cameron gets on his paws and knees, looking out from under the table. Holy fucking shit. Holy shit, this is fucking crazy. Vision is definitely different from anything he's experienced before. Like the dreamlike, reality-altering psilocybin, the vision he's entered has a clarity to it. He's not even tripping at all. This art, man, it's fucking crazy. Something. Someone appears before him, and Cameron knows everything immediately. Benjamin Kowalski, a rabbit born in 1977, ran away from his Pueblo home when he was 16. For several years, he moved from city to city, sometimes in surrounding states, before settling in Peyton. He stocked shelves at a grocery store, and the extra money he saved up would fund his weed supply. Brian was his dealer. In September 1998, he agreed to let Brian take him to his trailer home in Echo. He promised 2 ounces of weed in exchange for one night of love making, as the bear had put it. Benjamin wasn't gay, and even if he was pretty sure Brian wouldn't be his type. 2 ounces was a lot, though, and way too good to pass up. After 4 days of torture, Brian accidentally strangled him for too long, and Benjamin didn't regain consciousness. Of course, Brian planned on killing him anyway, so he did. Bear was only disappointed to get a few more days with him. I'm sorry, but this is actually genuinely fucking horrifying. In a way that I really can't put into words, and I feel really gross even trying to. Timothy Esposito was a skunk born in 1985 in a decaying industrial Midwestern city. He transplanted to Mesa in May 2005, and that was where he attended a BDSM themed event in an unused warehouse. He liked breath play, and so did Brian, so they fooled around a bit. Didn't much like Brian, but the bear liked him a lot. Brian liked him so much, in fact, that he followed the skunk as he walked home after the event and kidnapped him on an unempty street. Timothy was strong and almost escaped multiple times, once managing to leave the trip before getting caught just a few dozen feet from the dirt road. Brian continued their breath play, except now it wasn't play at all, and after 2 weeks, Brian again suffocated his victim for too long. This time, Brian thought he was very successful in keeping his victim alive that long. Daniel Galagos was a ferret born in 1996. He's from the Saranan capital, but was staying with family in Mill City to work a summer job. Saving up money for his university tuition. August 2014, days before he meant to head back to Sonora, he met Brian outside a club before being kidnapped and driven to Echo. Brian was able to keep him for an entire month, and even though a few of Brian's customers had seen him tied to the torture rack, no one said a thing. Eventually, Brian seemed to decide he'd gotten all he could out of the ferret, and he bludgeoned Daniel to death with an tire iron just because he wanted to try something different. Bear couldn't believe how long it took, how hard he had to hit before the kid. Hit the kid before he finally stopped moving. Um, I don't know if this is affecting you guys as much as it is me. Fuck you, bro. Cameron! Jesus fucking Christ. Cameron is jolted back to reality as he yanked up by his shirts was not even touching the floor. Brian's paws hold the front of his shirt while shaking him violently. What? Oh, what is it? Brian Cameron kicks around and try and get his feet on solid ground again. Despite being almost overwhelmed by the numbing column of Xanax, that's not enough to stop the primal fear Cameron has of this bear. Especially not after seeing the horrors he committed on those men. What he'd just seen was condensed, distilled into an easy-to-follow series of events, but all the while he absorbed all the tiny details too. He knows Brian promised these men many things, that he'd only keep them for 1, 2, 3 more days before letting them go. That if they just be a little more quiet, he'd let them go. But Cameron knows none of those promises were kept. Visions had been so real to Cameron it felt like he'd been there for everything they went through. Luckily, he hadn't felt anything, but it was as if he was in the room with them. This room. Ryan seems to gain some control over himself and lets go of the coyote. Cameron's able to stand with his weak, shaking legs and sits down heavily on the ground, looking up at the looming bear. Kept calling your name and you wouldn't answer. Told you to let me know if the visions were starting. I couldn't. Brian waits, looking more impatient the more Cameron stammers, only makes him stammer more. I swear to fucking God, why do all of you become whimpering little dipshits the second I lose my quote for like a second? He reaches down and Cameron cringes as he yanked up to his feet again. It's clear that Brian wants him to keep standing this time, so he does, steadying himself against the tail behind him. Quit that crying. It's best to stop, but the sobs keep coming. Brian, the visions, the people he just felt. It's not an easy thing to just shrug off. I say to quit, not be quieter. Cameron's mouth tries to be more, his tongue now sandpaper against the roof of his mouth. This fear helps shock him into a statue-like state. Cameron knows he owes a lot to the sedative right now. Without he wouldn't be able to stop him, Brian might kill him. That's better, but faster next time. Got it? Okay. Oh. Cameron opens his mouth to answer, but finds himself yanked forward suddenly, only to come to a horrible jarring stop as the bear slams his knee into the coyote's torso. Cameron watches the luminous arches writhe about, convulsing, almost like they're marionette coyotes in her turmoil. He is so big compared to himself that it seems to cover most of his chest and stomach. You can thank your boyfriend for that one, but you still owns you one more. Brian finally pulls back and Cameron crumples to the ground, unable to process what Brian is saying, not able to understand it anyway. Cody lets out guttural groans over and over again. What's that you saying? Brian taunts from above and Cody responds with a whooping gasp, pressing his face in the floor in agony. I asked you a fucking question! Cameron's lifting the air again, feeling his feet kick around for purchase on the ground as he once again dangles from his shirt. Fabric stretching to the point that Cameron can hear the threads popping in his collar. Cameron cracks open an eye and sees Brian drawing back a huge paw. Cameron has to had a few words with the tiny amount of air he's gathered in his collapsed lungs. Nothing. Cameron wheezes loudly between the words, knowing that this is exactly what Brian likes, but how can he stop himself? He's not even sure if stopping himself will help. Maybe it'll only trigger Brian hurting him more. To Cameron's immense relief, the bear pauses and then slowly drops his fist. Cameron sees the wild look in Brian's eyes gradually leave as he stares at the gasping coyote in his grasp. Good, guess I'll save the other for later then. Yeah, let's go. Cameron slumps back to his knees, curled up again in the fetal position. Now what was it you saw? Do not give me to be continued, you... He didn't feel any pain. Now he does. Speak up, Arturo. The whole class needs to hear you. He's in front of 20 curious, attentive eyes while his paws shake, almost making his papers rattle. He had less than a year to learn a new language, and now they expect him to give an entire book report. If anything, to be in his room, gaming on his brand new PlayStation 2, but first, he has to figure out how to survive these next 5 minutes. He's playing his PlayStation 4 in his dorm room when Maria walks in. Hey, beautiful, you able to get some sleep? He doesn't look up from his game. Oh, you should know my overflow toe. That makes him look up. Huh? Look confused, frustrated. Born and sworn and a morning forlorn. It's down the controller and stands up. Baby, what? Tro installs a lock in the medicine cabinet. Helps her eat healthy. Yells makes sure she goes to bed at the right time. Whenever she feels a mood swing approaching, high or low, they pair together. Maria once cried and told him that she wasn't worth it, but he should find someone that isn't an unpredictable mess. Told her she was definitely worth it, and they just needed to stay alert. Oh, fuck. Arturo opens his eyes and then cringes at the ache in his head. Not an ache, but an explosion ripping through his skull, his brains, and down his spine. Hurts so much that he lets out a sound that's a half moan, half scream. This time it seemed to take longer and to understand where and when he is. He'd been moving as fast as he could without actually running or jogging, since he isn't even capable of doing that. He guessed he had probably made it 2 miles away from Echo, so 5 more to go. He had just been thinking about how he was walking almost exactly like his grandfather after his stroke, and Arturo had thought, now we'll actually have something to bond over before it happened. A dizzy spell like all the others made him stumble like he was looking over the edge of a cliff. Then anxiety like he'd never known overcame him, making his heart beat so fast Arturo was convinced he was going to explode. Got to his knees, started praying for help, and then... Now he's here on the ground, his nose and forehead resting from where it slammed the asphalt, and the rest of his body just aches. He'd had a seizure, and even though he's never had one before, he knows that's what happened. At least he was on his knees, was facing a far to fall. Still, he's left so exhausted, so defeated that just wants to lay there. He's been in a half-dream state, completely confused as he stared around him, memories flicking through his mind like a viewmaster. Hour had passed, maybe two, before he finally understood what his situation was again. Almost wants to go back to that confused state, pretend it's a dream. Now he's crying. Because how is he going to take care of Maria if he can barely walk, barely talk? She's good at taking care of herself, but he needs to be there just in case. He needs to live and needs to get better. Well, he's glad to be out of Echo. He knows Cameron is still there, and if Devin is gone, too, he knows the bear would only want him to save Cameron. Get up, Arturo, your friends need you. Eventually, Sully sits up, his paws shaking so badly he's worried he's having another seizure, but eventually he steadies himself. Needs to keep moving. So with a deep shuddering breath, Arturo starts to carefully get up, and that's when he sees it. No! No, 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 no. Hi there! Hello, Flynn and Sam and countless other individuals. It stares, and Arturo just stares back silently. Okay, so this confirms it then. This confirms it to me that the canon ending is Flynn's ending. You know, Flynn's route where he becomes this, he like meshes with Sam and they become this thing. I'm pretty sure this basically confirms that the canon ending is the one in Flynn's route, which, fuck, fuck. Boy, the fucking art style here, though, it's definitely interesting. In that moment, he's sure that he actually did die, and that what he assumed was a seizure was really just the end. Now this thing, this embodiment of death, is here to take him. Instead of moving toward him, though, or really acknowledging him in any way, it doesn't move at all. Tro notices something out of the corner of his eye, though. It's distant, and he sees lights. Headlights. Multiple headlights moving in both directions on the landscape. The highway. Tro looks back, but it's gone. Mr. Dewey starts to get up. He's sure he didn't see those lights before he collapsed, but a lot of his memory is missing. Several patches between where he was shot and now are unaccounted for. And what he just saw is probably a product of his failing brain. So wordlessly, he walks in his wide stance with his arms swinging awkwardly, knowing that nothing will be the same again. Oh, for fuck's... Cool. We're back. We're back here. We're back here with this fucking nightmare. God! Brian, after telling Brian everything he remembered, the bear seemed satisfied. Did you try and talk to him? No, I didn't have time. Brian waves away the Cody's excuse. Just know it next time I won't interrupt you. Aaron wants to tell the bear he's not even sure he can talk to them. Because after all this time, he's starting to think that he shouldn't even be able to. See what's happened in the past, maybe even see what might happen in the future, but that's it. He only sees a record, and if they acknowledge him, communicate with him, that's something he doesn't want anything to do with. Devin had said earlier that he doesn't believe in demons, but that's what Cameron thinks they are. All of these unexplainable forces that haunt and torment the living, it's all demons. I really don't like how they're doing this, where like they're making him think that he's actually psychic, that drugs are what's leading it. Like he took the weed and he had the vision. He was forced to take psilocybin. Now he's had these visions. I hate the fact that the writers are instilling a pattern here in him, in his head. That is not fucking healthy. That is not good. And Cameron seems to have a very big abandonment issue where anytime Dev even like questions him once, he's like, "Oh, he's abandoning me and such." Like I get it. He has his mother, his trauma with his mother, and his trauma with his ex, his abusive ex, and all that stuff. It's not good though. Combined with this shit now, I don't like where this character is heading. I really don't. Also, it seems he's piecing together the Echo thing way faster than I would like, honestly. Even though, as much as you can piece together something like that, I'm just stalling. Anyway, Brian disappears again, and because he doesn't grab that coyote, Cameron assumes that he isn't meant to follow him. A minute or two later, Cameron hears a loud snorting sound. He flinches. Then it happens again. Looks over to see Brian leaning over the counter, head low. Combined with the sound, posture, the coyote knows that the bear is definitely snorting something. He's been in a similar position many times in his past. Either way, he's not about to ask the bear what he's snorting. You can only hope it's something that knocks Brian out or at least slows him down. I don't. After sniffing and dabbing at his nostrils, the bear returns to Cameron's side. Well, let's go outside to a spot where I think you'll get better reception or whatever. Can't really remember what Brian just said. He finds himself being forced over the huge bear's shoulder, being lifted in a fireman's carry. Cameron closes his eyes, clutching to the fur of Brian's back as the bear lumbers heavily around, listening to the sound of a screen door swinging open then shut. You can sense that they're outside. They are warm, the lingering heat of the day. Then he finds his feet coming into contact with the ground. Oh, I hate this. I fucking hate this. What could he possibly see in the forest that we haven't already discovered from like Chase and what? No, her name's not Cynthia. The Janice. Like, what else is in this forest that he could be wanting him to see? Cameron looks at his surroundings. O'Brien M was about 5 feet away, kicking at the dirt and foliage. It's twilight now, at least as far as Cameron can tell. The eerie, ominous red hasn't gone away, even though they're well past sunset. First time he tried shrooms, colors did change, but in the sense that they became more vibrant and saturated. Forest looks just like it did when he had the vision about the static entity. He was with Dev then. How is this even happening? Who's having these thoughts? Devin? What? Cameron jolts back present even though it's not the present. It's not the even though it's not the present, because time has stopped existing. It's just a moment, a never-ending series of moments. Is time always happening at once? Brian is still looking up at the piercing gaze, and his fear is once again writhing about in his body as it's come back to life. Sorry, I'm having a hard time concentrating. He lost himself for a moment, just blurted out the first name that came to his mind to center himself, to confirm that he still exists. The trip was reaching the same levels he experienced in high school that had sent him running through an unfamiliar public park, his friends having to chase and pin him down. I'll fucking bet. I don't even know what I gave you because I thought you only take one swallow. It was a fuck ton, though. Oh, there's nothing he can add to that. It's scary, but it's the way that Brian is acting that's really scaring him. Whatever he took is very obviously kicking him in, and it's definitely not calming him down. Something wrong? Ryan's tone is taunting and cruel, and to Cameron's horror, Brian comes closer, right next to the coyote. No, I'm just feeling off because of the shrooms. Oh my god, that's a new Sprite. Yeah, shit, I forgot. I had like 3 milligrams of Xanax too. I totally forgot. Fuck, better not go to sleep. You go delirious on me, understand? Betty, if you do, I'll probably just kill you. Cameron stays still. He's reached the stage where he feels solidly stuck in a deep dream. What will be in for several more hours. Who's dreaming? Hey, what's the matter? Am I making you feel uncomfortable? Is there something wrong with me? Cameron shakes his head with tiny jerks, barely moving it. I asked a fucking question! I noticed you're on something, that's all. Well, no shit, kid. You think I was blowing my nose in there or something? Well, I was thinking maybe we were gonna see things together. You'd take a downer, but it looks like you're on an upper. Why would I want to see that shit when I got you? I don't like the ones out here. That's why I took it. Wanna guess what I'm on? Cameron doesn't, but now that he knows Karen's going to help him, he plays along. Maybe cocaine, Adderall. You fucking kidding me, kid? Adderall? Do I look like a college brat trying to pull an all-nighter? This shit's like a cup of coffee to me. Cameron doesn't say anything, but Brian keeps quiet, like he's waiting for the next guess. Meth? Too expensive, but close enough. It's I don't fucking know. Oh, okay. Sorry, I never really did stims. Not what happened to his mother. Bath salts. Oh, no. And it feels fucking amazing. Falls as the sight of a 500-pound bear awkwardly dancing and swinging his massive arms around, violently growling and laughing. It's terrifying. As the crazed bear is shadow dancing about 20 feet away, Cameron begins to realize he might be able to run. His muscles weak from the sedative and his mind absolutely fucked from the hallucinogen. He might not be able to might be able to outrun Brian. He's starting to forget that he even exists. Still, he might be able to hide. Don't fucking do it! The desert is full of cracks and crevices that you might be able to squeeze into to wade out. Brian is there, heaving for breath. Fuck! Gotta relax, it's been a while, so I'm getting huge rush. Gotta remember, I ain't as young as I used to be. My heart's probably gonna give any day now. Please let your heart give out. Please just die. Lest this nightmare, this decades-long nightmare you've created end. Way too much. Almost, anyways, may forget what we're even doing. Remind me again, little buddy. And smiles on Coyote, and Cameron takes that as a cue to smile back. If Cameron is remembering correctly, stimulants make people more empathetic, and he might hopes he can tap into that. I'm gonna help you calm down some spirits, Cameron wants to say, and then you let me go, but Brian doesn't keep promises, and bringing up my only trick him to do more terrible things. That, and now that they're outside, Cameron is sure that he can feel Devin's presence, alive but hurt, and that Cody is desperately trying to figure out what to do next. But Brian seems to know exactly what's on Cameron's mind. What about your babe? Maybe I was just getting the wrong vibes, but I thought he's your boyfriend. Of course, that's why I'm doing this. Oh, fuck, I forgot to tell you what he in the van got distracted with you and left him in there too long. Few seconds pass, during which Cameron's mind is telling him 10 different ways to react. Cameron knows for a fact that Devin's alive, but should he act terrified to satisfy the bear? Brian interrupts with a giggle. Nah, he's fine. Just wanted to make sure the feelings between the two of you are mutual. Your face said it all. Ryan laughs again, lets out a high-pitched whoop that echoes around the quiet forest. Now no one else to do, Brian does his best to go along with Brian's game and forces a laugh. Holy shit, you really got me there. I thought my art was gonna give out. Damn, you're cutest little Yoda I ever seen. Oh, thanks, but drugs, they make everything seem better. I think I'm more on the uglier side of things, I'm being honest. I mean, I haven't showered in a while either. Karen pretends to self-consciously smooth over his head fur. Nah, you were cute before I amped up. Also, I've had guys shit themselves because they was scared that I thought it would stop me doing what I did. It didn't, but because of this shit I'm on makes me horny as fuck. So not only do you look cute, it is cute thinking that it might help you. Of course. Cameron saw the torture Brian inflicted on the bear had to be drugged up whenever he was doing it. Cameron can especially remember Daniel's experience in his thoughts. 10, 15, sometimes even 20 hours of non-stop physical and mental torture. And it would go on and on and on and wouldn't stop until the bear's exhausted body would pass out. Then he would sleep for an entire day, sometimes long before the process began again. But luckily for you, we got more important things to do. Come stand here next to me. Okay, I'm gonna help you. He tries to make it sound like he's on the bear's side. Who's thinking these thoughts? And as Karen moves to stand beside Brian, it finally seems to sink in that Brian is going to kill them. Not because he's obvious, but because he's starting to pick up on the bear's thoughts. He's reading his mind. No! No, 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 no. No, don't tell me you're making him actually psychic. No! Fuck that shit. No! He's reading his mind. He thinks he murdered Artie, but he didn't. For whatever reason, either because he's outside or because he's spacing out even more, he's certain of that. No, 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 no. You're making him fucking psychic. You're making him actually psychic. Why? Oh my god, that's... I hate that. I fucking hate that. He'd never been close friends with the cat, but Cameron had gotten to know him, and that feeling, that amalgamation of a person as Artie, he's still out there. Cameron mentally reaches out to the cat, but it's so far, so distant, something is wrong with Artie. His amalgamation is missing some parts. What? What the... I don't like the message this is sending, I really don't. Devon's is still full, and nearby it shines like a beacon in the darkness of the barren desert. So while Brian is telling him to contact people he murdered and buried under the ground, Cameron instead reaches out for Devon. Dude, no. No, 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 no. He's fucking psychic? Fuck that. That makes no goddamn sense. A few minutes after Brian left, Devon became frantic. Even though he knows it won't help, it will only make things worse. And the instinctual part of his brain overwhelms everything. Honestly, it very much seems like a Deus Ex Machina to get Devon out of this. It very much feels like that. I cannot believe I'm saying that about an Echo game, but I seriously think there's going to be a Deus Ex Machina device where Cameron's psychic powers save the day, and I really fucking hope it's not the case, because that would ruin the goodwill you built for like the fucking year. Actually, 2 years now. This game has been out. Like, I fucking hope that's not the case. I really, truly hope. With low bearish grunts and grovels, he yanks and pulls and lunges with all of his weight, just trying to get something other than his own wrist to break. He already contemplated dislocating and breaking his thumbs to pull his paws out of the cuffs like he'd seen characters do in some movies. But just looking at the metal, he can tell they're too well fitted for that to do any good. He can gnaw his thumbs off and he'd still be stuck. He just yanks until blood is seeping into this paw fur. Even with the added lubrication, they still don't budge. Please, please, please! It's the word he says with each grunt of exertion. Finally, as the drug water begins to take effect, Devin slumps in his side, crying. He sobs harder than he ever has in his adult life. Cameron. I'm so sorry, Cameron, please. He killed them. All because he needed to find out. Turns out he will find out because they're going to die. How could he do this to Cameron? How could he be so stupid, naive, inconsiderate, selfish? They put the umlaut above the I. Great. Very, very, very good. In a flat, is that an omelet? I don't think it is. Anyway, in a flash of rage and desperation, Devin viciously gnaws at his right forearm, snarling. Again, he knows it's senseless, pointless, detrimental, but the self-loathing is all-consuming and mostly just wants to punish himself. Fucking hell! Christ almighty, after several seconds he stops, and after blinking away the blood or tears, he sees that while some fur is missing, he barely broke the skin. Devin lets out a hopeless, despairing laugh, even while tears stream down his face. Metal enclosure makes the laugh sound loud and hollow, and that's when Devin stops. You realize how unhinged he sounds, how he shouldn't be acting like this. He doesn't have a right to break down. His friend is dead, and his best friend... Devin knows he needs to do everything he can to get up. Wait, what? Buddy boy, Devin knows he needs to do everything he can to get out. Next time Brian's within reach, he's gonna do everything he can to make sure he dies. He'll rip his throat out. While that fire is rekindled in his chest, he can't fight whatever drug the bear gave him. Devin suspects he's making him a bit delirious, too. Either way, it's powerful, and Devin knows he probably won't be able to do much for another hour or two. So he lays down, trying to keep his ears open so he can be ready for the old bear if he comes back. Bruh. Bruh, no. No. Okay. Cameron dies. It doesn't matter if I escape. I won't be able to live with that. Maddie Mateo. Huh? No one's used his second name since... Why couldn't you just watch her? Oh, shit. Devin! Devin stays curled up because he knows he imagined that, or his brain is playing tricks in him, or... Devin, it's me, I'm here! Cam? Devin stares at the swirling patterns and lines. Are you okay? No. None of us are okay. You're not okay. I don't even know if you're alive. Devin tries to move toward Cameron, but he stays at a constant 10 feet away no matter how hard the bear tries to get to him. Devin, I am real. Cameron carefully enunciates each of those words. Doing this through, like, my mind, I think. I'm fucking psychic, remember? Well, now I know this is bullshit. Well, now I know this is my bullshit. This is what got us into this nightmare in the first place. Devin. Yeah, you know what? Fuck you. Fuck you. You were exactly what I was hoping you'd be. You don't exist. My sick, fucked up mind's making this version of you that I have no right to create, and... Devin's voice trembles with emotion. He's never had a dream before where he's felt this real, this alive. And of course it's happening when he's feeling at his absolute worst. I just wish you were real so I could tell you how sorry I am. But I can't take any of this back even if we somehow make it out. You look fine, but I know you're not fine because you're with that goddamn bear. It's quiet for a moment, the only sound being Devin sobbing. Devin, I know there isn't much I can do to convince you that I'm real. All I can say is that I am real and that I love you dearly. I love you too. And yeah, Brian is hurting me just like he's hurting all of us. What's he doing to you? It's happened to me, without me not being real. Just in case, are you okay? And Cameron's face makes Devin's stomach drop. Well, not really, no, but he's keeping me alive, so that's what's important. You see those patterns? Yeah. Brian drugged me with shrooms, and I'm tripping absolute balls right now. Hallucinogens enhance my abilities, and I think I kind of created this space. I really can't make this stuff up. Well, maybe you're right, but he drugged you too. He drugged me too, you know. This could all still be me. You don't give psychedelics to someone you're trying to sedate. Anyway, it turns out I'm not that different from my mom. It's all arches. I see them when I take certain drugs. Oh my fucking god, no! No! Are you seriously doing this game? Fuck you! That's horrible. That's a horrible fucking message. Devin looks up at the patterns and the first time he feels like this might actually be real. Cameron? It's me, yes. Cameron, oh my god, please let this be real, baby. I'm so sorry. No, 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 we don't have time right now. Also, I kind of read your mind, so I already know. Sorry about that, by the way, it just happened automatically. But I can sense Brian's thoughts too, and I know where you are, where the van is, that you're in a set of handcuffs. And I know where the keys are. I'll get you out somehow. Cameron, honey, please don't do anything like I get you hurt, please. Tevin sees Cameron's lips tremble. Tevin, you know I can't promise that in this situation. Neither of us can. But we're doing this together. Cameron! Shit. Brian, is he there with you? I'm gonna be fine, but I gotta go. I love you. Cameron! No, damn it, please! Crimson Darkness feeling helpless. Should be there with Cameron not here, sleeping and doing nothing. We're doing this together. The great deal of effort. Devin smothers the frustration and terror, knowing that he should have some faith in his boyfriend. Cameron thinks he can do this, and Devin realizes he has to believe him. He just wishes he could fully believe what was happening and what just happened is real, even though Cameron had him convinced at the moment. So he continued to rest, waiting to see if this coyote comes to free him, and hopefully when he can finally get his claws on Brian. Oh no. He has to lie now. He has to make something up. Shit. Oh boy, I don't know if he can do that actually. I don't know if he knows enough of Brian to be able to accurately guess that shit. You've been standing there for a good 10 minutes, so what you say? Well, I'm having trouble because they won't talk to me. Oh, and why's that? I think it's because you're here and they're scared of you. Maybe if you... Cameron screams, clutching, clawing and clutching at the huge fist in his ear. Brian twisting it viciously before lifting up so that Cameron's feet actually lift off the ground. He didn't know it was possible to feel that much pain from his ears, even though he knows they're sensitive. Stop! Okay, nope. Not saying that. Not saying that. Nope. He violently shakes Cameron. The Cody twists his body, grabbing the bear's forearm and trying to get his leg lifted up and wrapped around the bear's bicep to lessen the pressure. But Brian won't allow it. God damn it. You know you just said everything out loud just now. What? You know exactly what. Ugh. Ew, 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 ew. Cameron slammed up against the trunk of a tree, the impact resonating through his body. Instantly, the bear's huge, ragged muzzle is right next to his own, snorting heavily. Cameron fights as best as he can, but his feet are off the ground again and he kicks and twists, but the grip is more powerful than anything he's felt before. I actually feel his eyes bulge and his tongue sticks out involuntarily, and once again he finds himself drowning. In that moment, it isn't the crushing pressure on his neck or the horrid, rancid breath coming from the old bear that Cameron notices most. It's that Brian doesn't even seem angry. He doesn't seem enraged that Cody had been contacting Devon. Doesn't seem upset that Cameron broke his word to help the bear with his demons. Instead, Brian looks ecstatic, all while looking right into Cameron's face, watching the cavity open and close, and Cody's mouth open and close noisily. Vaguely, Cameron can sense a battle taking place inside Brian. He desperately wants to have his way with Cameron, but he also wants Cameron to exorcise the ghosts. But Cameron can also sense that Brian is realizing his plans were doomed from the start. How would he ever hide the fact that he killed a loving couple in this infamous abandoned town? He knows people will look for them like his previous victims. Bear is deciding that they're all going to die. This is the end, and he'll end it with one final victim. It doesn't fucking matter! Brian hisses in Cameron's face. Something moves out of the corner of Cameron's eyes, and he looks up to see a somewhat familiar face. Oh my god, that's fucking cool. You can see it in his eyes. You can see the red eyes and the reflection. Oh my god. It's fucking cool. Its black void-like features with swirling red eyes stare at him. It's watching him chew just like it's just as fascinating as Brian. Cameron senses very little intention or emotion from this creature, but he finally realizes its purpose in this forest is simple. Record the terrible things that happen in it. Oh my god, I can hear a fucking recording sound, like a fucking old tape recorder. Cameron is about to become one of its next recordings. Cody's vision blurs and one paw drops to slip into Brian's pocket, disguising it as him trying to push the bear away. He feels and finds the single key that he knew would be there. God damn it, you're a fucking cute one, you know. Ryan's voice trembles with cool passion, emotion, and nuzzles the coyote. Ugh! Ugh, God, no. He squeezes harder, and Cameron's eyes roll up all while putting the key in his own pocket. But he's not sure it matters. Brian isn't letting up. As he fades into darkness, Cameron feels a part of himself die. The trip peaks, and suddenly Cameron is everywhere at once. He's a trailer home in the northwest. He's a desert lake. He's a broken road being in the middle of nowhere. He's being hit by a van. He's a train cutting through the wilderness. He's been shot in the head. He's been hung from a tree. He's been beaten to death. He's swimming under an arch. He's a space shuttle smashing into the ocean. He's a dead town. Dead, but with working reflexes, using tools still clutched in its grasp. Cameron disappears, and these thoughts and feelings are no longer his because he isn't who he is. He is everything. Because of that, he can see everything. Are you serious? No. Fuck that. I have some fucking strong fucking words for this one. Here's all the people. Here's all the people involved with it. Great job on the writer and the background art and everything and how good job, I guess. I don't know. Fucking. Okay, I have some fucking things to say about this update. The art is a fucking amazing, like usual. It's so fucking polished. It's just as emotionally devastating at certain points. The writing's great. I just have certain problems with it, like the fact that they're now making Cameron canonically a psychic, and that hallucinogens cause his psychic powers to grow in strength. I'm sorry, what the fuck is that bullshit? Oh, fucking nonsense is what it is. I'm sorry, but no. That's the Deus Ex Machina I've ever seen one. Fuck that shit. That is absolutely abhorrent. Yes, let's have a ex-drug addict realize that he's actually a psychic, and that his psychic powers are triggered by taking hallucinogens and drugs. Yes, that's such a good message for this fucking person to learn. God. And what is this fucking bullshit about a space shuttle that crashes into an ocean lake? Fuck off. Or is that a reference to the shuttle, like the shuttle that he saw in an earlier vision in the 80s? I don't know. If that's a reference to a Dasher, I'm going to be serious. I'm seriously fucking pissed. And like, wow. And this, he is everywhere and everything nonsense. Fuck off. Fuck off with that. That's bullshit. But overall, I very much enjoyed this update. Just that one thing really pisses me the fuck off. I really hope that this doesn't automatically kill this game for me in the next updates. Because I have a fucking feeling it will. I just do. There's no, I cannot see that line of reasoning, that type of storytelling going anywhere other than bad places in writing zone. Thanks for watching, I guess, yada yada yada. Come back next time for next video or whatever. As I said, this video will be uploaded when build 6 of Arches goes public. So I don't know when that's going to be, but currently it is September 14th. 2022, 3:38 p.m. So if that, I don't know when it's gonna release publicly, but cool. See you guys in the next video or something. I don't know. Bye bye.